Hello, everyone. This is Lonnie Matthews, the instructor for the Records Management course. Once again, I want to take a moment to do a short video to show you how to get around in MindTap. Now, MindTap this is the first semester we've actually experimented using MindTap. Before, you had to buy an extra packet of simulation materials and supplies to create a filing system, and it was a lot of work, and you had to do a Word document and send the document in a Dropbox. I had to grade it and get it back to you. So this way, it's all electronic. MindTap will grade it, and I will be able to see your grade. And it's cheaper because in the past you had to buy both the indexing materials as well as the textbook. Now all you have to do is buy the one code which has the textbook as well as the online activities that you would need. So speaking of textbook, let me just jump right to that. I don't know if your screen is exactly like mine. I'm in instructor mode, but there's a little toolbar off to the right and it says full book. If you click on that, you will see the textbook here, right? And what you can do is read the textbook in place as is. I personally don't like reading this online. I find it a little bit distracting. You can increase the font, decrease the font, whatever works for you. But if you're like me and you want to get a piece of paper in your hand, you can print your chapters, textbook by chapters. You got two options. It says here printing the section, meaning just this page, or you can do the entire chapter by clicking entire reading activity. Chapter 1 actually walks you right through it, so this is the entire chapter. You can go here, you click on print, boom, and there you go. You'll have the option to print, and it should give you that option as well. I'm not going to print the chapter. So now, once you print the chapter, you can read it, start studying for the quiz. Remember, there is a quiz every week as well. So now that you've read the chapter, at the end of reading it, then there are some activities. So here is the view. This is the screen here where it's just like the week view by week. Or you could view it this way by week as well. This is another way to view it as well, but I like the week by week view because it puts everything I need right there in front of me. So as you can see, we don't have anything this week. This is just getting familiar with everything. But next week will be the first week you'll have an activity. Remember, you have a quiz, a discussion, and an online activity from MindTap. This is the online MindTap activity, right? So what you would do is click on this, get it done. Now, notice here, this tells you when it's due. It says Sunday, January 24th, 11:59. Now, if you remember, the syllabus says 11:30, so all this stuff is due 11:30. I will go in and change these dates. I have to change each individual date. So give me a little bit to make sure they're all at 11:30, but make no mistake, 11:30 is the time. If I forget 11:59, you got a little bit something extra, but if not, it's due at 11:30. So please don't send me an email saying, oh, I thought it was due at 11:59. It's not. It's 11:30. All right. So let's take a quick look at one of the activities here. I believe it will let me look at it in student view. Yes, it will. So here is an activity that you'll do based on your reading. Here, you would just fill this in. Income tax return is I guess, fiscal activity. Minutes would be a historical activity. Property deed would be a legal activity. And I won't do the rest of them. I'll let you figure those out, right? So this is what you would do. You would complete the problem. Once you're done completing it, you will click on Submit for Grading. Only submit this when you are completely done. Now, the one here says Save. Cengage or MindTap will let you save it. So let's say you're working on this thing and your kids are fighting and you need to go administer some belt therapy, right? If that's your thing, go do the belt therapy, put everybody to bed, come back. So in the midst of that, you can hit Save. This will save your document. You can also resume and it'll pick you right back up where you left off, right? Okay. One other thing I want to bring to your attention, you see right here where it says 1, that means there's just one problem in this particular activity. Sometimes you may have more than one. If you did, you'd see a 2 or a 3. That means there's a separate problem, so you would need to click on the little circle there to see that individual problem. So please make sure you check. I don't want you to submit this and you get a 33, and you're like, why did I get a 33%? Like, well, because you had two other problems that you did not complete. All right. So again, once you're ready to submit it, you can submit right here. Now, another neat thing that I have for these assignments is right here where it says check my work. You have a couple of opportunities to check your work before submitting. Usually a couple. I don't know why that's 3, but anyway. So you click on check my work, and Cengage will check it for you, tell you that, hey, you got these right, which I did, but these were wrong. And so you need to go and try to figure it out. Now, you can only do that 3 times. Once you've done it 3 times, then you can no longer check your work. The only thing you can do is submit your work, right? And it will give you a little bit of feedback in some cases, but the feedback is turned off until you have actually completed the assignment. Come on now. You knew that, right? Okay, so that's kind of how you get around in the individual assignments. Now, each week you want to check this to see what to do. I've tried to take some of the clutter out and put it all in one spot where you need it. Now, notice here, if you look at your schedule, in chapters 3, 4, and 5, there's an extra week dedicated to a simulation activity that you have to do. This simulation activity is designed for you to take what you've learned in those chapters, those rules of filing, and go through a simulated filing system. Like I said before, you had to buy this kit and do it by hand. Now it's all electronic, right? So I want to take about 2 minutes to share with you how to go about doing that piece and some of the things you want to look out for. But on the schedule, on week 5, starting on the 8th of February, you'll have an extra week to do some chapter 3 simulation activities. Again, that's 3, 4, and 5. Those simulation activities are worth 100 points each, so it's a good part of your grade. So you definitely want to make sure you do those and take time to get those right. So let's take a quick peek at this particular simulation activity. It's two separate ones. They both make you do the same thing, but I want you to do it a couple times for practice, right? So we're going to start the assignment and kind of work our way around this simulation activity. So the first part, or the first thing it's asking you to do is you have a list of names, right, that you are dealing with here. So you're going to go ahead and file these, or determine what we call code these. Coding and indexing. Coding is the act of determining what order they go in. Indexing is the actual putting of them in that order. So based on this first one here, this person's name is Jane Carter Anderson, right? So once you read through the chapter, you'll see what happens when a name is hyphenated. And one of the things in that chapter, it says that if it's hyphenated, you remove the hyphenation and make it one name. So, and then you would file it based on the letter of the first letter of the last name. So when we're filing these units here, the rule says if it's a personal name, you file it last name, first name. So because her name was hyphenated, you're going to take the hyphen and combine it to make one last name. So her last name is Carter Anderson. So that means that's the key unit. The second unit is Jane. All right. So you would go in, determine the units for all of these, determine if it needs a cross-reference. Again, all that information's in the text. And just determine the key units. Once you're done with that, you're ready to move on to the second part. Now, you can check your work. Like I said before, that's always an option as well. Now, here's the next thing I want to bring to your attention. You see these 2 tabs here? So that's actually 2 sections to this one question. There's one question, but 2 sections to it. So this is the coding part. The indexing part is on the next tab. So in order to go to the next tab, you need to click the next button right here. Now notice what it's telling you. It says continue next step. So this is the next step in this particular process. Click OK to continue to the next step. If you proceed to the next step, you will not be permitted to further edit your responses to this one. So what it's saying is once you've decided the key units, that's going to be part of the grade. It will go ahead and, say, all right, you're done with that. So you click OK. You cannot now go back to the next section. So what it's done, and the reason is it's already taken those same names and coded and indexed them, or coded them in the correct order, which if you did this right, yours will look like this. If not, it will grade accordingly, okay? Now, in this part, it's asking you, okay, now that we've determined the filing order for each one of these units, you need to now put them in alphabetical order. That's what it's saying. Arrange the names you've coded in appropriate order from bottom to top of the screen. So in other words, this is the first. So look at this as a drawer. If you were to open up a drawer, the first file you would come to in the drawer would be here. Boom. The second file, third file. So you want to put them in alphabetical order based on the first file you would come to. So in this case, you would look through here and determine the alphabetical order. So all of these kind of start with the N, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. So the first one here is N. So boom, that would go there. And then the next one, L, M, N, O. Is there an O? No O. Is there a P? Is there a P? No P. Q. R. No. S. Yes, there is an S. Boom. Just like that. T. Yes, there are a couple of T's. So now you got to figure out which T goes first. Is it, so now they both start with T, so the next letter is A. T-A versus T-R versus T-O, so on and so forth. There's another T-A. Yeah, so now, which of these two T-A's? Go to the next letter. Is it a Y or an L? So L comes before Y, so boom, just like that. So on and so forth. You want to go ahead now and file those in order. Again, you can check your work. Let's see if I got those right. Hey, I know what I'm doing. I got it right. So anyway, that's how you would navigate. Again, once you're done, then you go ahead and submit for grading, turn it in, and it will grade it, and I will have your results for you, okay? So hopefully this was very helpful in getting you set up and helping you understand what you need to do in MindTap. So thanks again, and good luck.